But I will say the one common theme in almost every walkaway story, no matter what the root cause is, the common theme is a feeling of betrayal. That all of a sudden one day somebody woke up and realized, wait a minute, the party that I've been supporting, this ideology and this cause that I have given my time, my energy, my heart, my belief to, has changed. And that people feel really deceived, lied to, and again, betrayed. And for me, it's, people ask me all the time, like, what was the one thing that pushed you over the edge? Well, there are a number of specific anecdotes that, I could tell. But what it really was more than anything was the realization that the media that I had been trusting my entire life had been deceiving me, betraying me, and lying to me about all of these different things that they made me believe about Donald Trump, about his supporters, about the Republican Party. And all of it was intentionally designed to keep me suspended in a state of fear so that they could control how I felt, so they could control how I think, so they could control how I vote. And when I made that realization and I internalized that betrayal, I was mad as hell and decided I'm not going to take it anymore. And I'm going to speak out about this. And that's why I started Walkaway. But if I had to say one thing more than anything, it's that every person who walks away ultimately experiences some moment of the realization of betrayal. And it becomes, at that point, intolerable for them.
So how did you figure out that the news was lying to you? I mean, I think we all went through it. I mean, even people who are Republicans, independents, I think there's a point in time where people say, you know what, I don't believe this anymore. What made you stop believing the news?
Well, so I voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016, and I literally was crying when Donald Trump got elected. I mean, I was really shattered. I was scared, and I was angry, and I was very, very fearful because the media had been telling me for 18 months that Donald Trump was a racist, that his supporters were racists and bigots and homophobes, that they hated minorities and immigrants and LGBT people, that if Donald Trump got elected, it would mean that we were going to roll back civil rights for minorities. And I believed all of it. But I believed all of it, but I also wasn't like super worried about it because the same media kept telling me that she was going to win in a landslide and that he had like a 3% chance of winning. And so now all of a sudden he's won and they were completely wrong. And so now I'm like living in a state of terror, and my decision to start researching it was not based ever on any desire to like or be okay with Donald Trump or like or be okay with his supporters. I literally just wanted to pull myself out of this like depression and this state of fear that I was in. And I thought to myself, this is going to be a really long and brutal 4 years if I don't find a way to come to terms with what has just happened. So my journey began with me just trying to understand why did anyone vote for Donald Trump, and how did the media get it so wrong? And so I started asking a lot of questions and going back to the beginning of his campaign. And I mean, the real beginning of it, people have heard this story 45 million times. So I'll just make it really brief. But, I kind of rage posted one day in January of 2017 about I can't believe you guys could vote for a man who would mock a reporter's disability. Like, what's wrong with you guys? And that was when somebody sent me a video debunking that Trump mocked the disabled reporter. And that video showed really clearly that the media had taken that moment out of context, lied about it, created a false narrative. And I was like, wait a minute, what? And so I went back and I started kind of studying and researching all of these moments that had upset me, like him calling all Mexicans rapists, his comments, from the Access Hollywood tape about women, and them calling the Muslim ban, the Muslim ban, is it really a Muslim ban? And the border wall, is the border wall racist? And, I went back and I started like looking at all these things. And what I found was that time and time and time again, in almost every circumstance, when the media had, served up on a platter this story that was emotionally manipulative, that they were being dishonest, that they were taking a moment and spinning it out of context and putting their own false narrative behind it with the intention of manipulating my emotions and deceiving me. And I started to see this pattern really clearly, like time and time and time and time again. And then when I realized, wait a minute, so you're telling me that when Trump got elected, I didn't need to spend 2 weeks freaking out, crying, depressed, scared to death, like none of this had to happen. I felt that way because you guys lied to me over and over and over again. And that's when I started to see that the media, the left-wing media, total liars and deceivers. And then that's ultimately what led to me fighting back against them and speaking out.
For more great videos, download the Walkaway Social app at walkawaysocial.com. Share your testimonial and join our community.